when you look at the stats this season, I mean, Daniel Podol's the only one of Wolves' forwards to score. The out-and-out centre-forwards, well, Raul Jimenez hasn't featured in all the games. The man they brought in for 15 million or so, Sasa Kalajic, got injured after just one appearance. They haven't had a lot of luck either.
No, it definitely, there's an element of the poor luck from a managerial point of view with the players that have got injured. But there's also, I feel like a mindset and a style that I think that he was putting into the players. There's no doubt that, when you watched Wolves at times, nice on the eye, but I felt quite naive as well. Didn't feel like they were that, not so much clinical, because I think we've just clearly seen them not clinical, but I never believed, it was so hard for them to score goals. And that's why they got so many draws, basically. And any time they went a goal up, there was always hanging on and got caught out. That's the manager's fault, essentially. And that's why he's been sacked. The performances have not been good enough. The results have not been good enough. And I do feel like the style of play that he was putting forward for the Wolves fans and for everybody to see was very much kind of like of a glass half empty style, rather than like a bit more expressive, go out there and attack. And I think you can clearly see that in the attacking type players that he has. They're good players. So the return of the numbers that Neto is bringing to the table, or Pundits or Hwang, it makes no sense apart from, for me and the experiences that I've had. It just must be the message that the manager is conveying to them, that they're thinking much more defensive-minded rather than attack-minded.
I think also as well, transfer window hasn't been great. Them having to go and get Diego Costa, who was a great player, but obviously now he's not the same person. And I think letting go of Cody, it's massive. Your club captain going, that, I don't care what anyone says, your dressing room changes, your fan affiliation changes, and now in these hard times, that's the person you've got to lean on. Who is that person now for Wolves?
It tells the story, though, don't it? I think of what's happening at the football. It's strange, no, that your club captain, who's been a huge leader in that dressing room, has all of a sudden just kind of left, and now I'm watching Ruben Neves play centre-half because you've also let Wilfred Bolly go to Nottingham Forest. There's a lot of, I felt, like confusion at recruitment level that has gone on at the football club, which may or may not be the manager's fault, if we're honest, but essentially the performances have been, way below what they needed to be.
I mean, you can say a move like that. Sometimes you can say as a club, right, we're going to go in a different direction now, whether that be formation-wise or personnel-wise. But that seemed to come, I mean, maybe for some internally at Wolves it didn't, but for virtually everybody else, that came out of the blue. So do you think that shocked that dressing room?
Massively. I think there'll be players in there going, Connor, like, he's also, he represents us. But I think also as well, the best thing from a player's perspective is Everton are picking up. They've got the best, the least amount of goals let in. Connor's doing well there. Do you get what I mean? So naturally, when things aren't going well for you, players are talking and we're going, Connor wouldn't have allowed that. And I honestly think, playing against Wolves, he was the one who was always talk about Bolly, but he was the one that organised it and went, right, things are hard, get in here, and this is how it happens. And I think they're struggling for it now, and the manager ultimately makes those decisions of who stays and who goes.